So I'm going to get this recorded. And if you guys saw the title of this is going to be all about the power of your vision. And just something that kind of hit me in one of my personal development books that I read. And it was like, oh, wow, I think I need to do a better job of continuously. And that's the thing, is staying consistent about anything and everything that we do, but staying consistent with what your vision is and having you guys also have a vision, not only for yourselves, but for your team, and me being able to share that vision with you guys as well. A big, huge shout out for Heather, though. If you guys didn't see the video before, she hit Success Club last month and is a business starter. So that is huge. And congrats, Alex, on, your new coach and everything. That's awesome. Getting them onboarded right now is going to be something I will continuously throw at you, but it'll be good. I'm excited because growth is coming. You guys are stepping up, becoming leaders. You guys are wanting it. You're here. And so I'm super excited. So I wanted to start off the call with a quote by Helen Keller. And it said, "Worse than being blind would be to be able to see, but not have any vision." And I think it's so powerful because, I can't really say how it's not powerful, but to not have a vision, if you're able to see, but you don't have a vision, it's just insane. And we talk about vision, we talk about affirmations, and we talk about other things as well too, like, pumping yourself up and everything. And people think visions or talking about your goals or speaking about your goals or whatever it may be is all mumble jumble, I don't want to say everyone thinks that, but a lot of people think that it won't make a big difference. And honestly, in all reality, if you don't have a vision, you're blind pretty much. Let's just say that, there's nothing. And I'll talk more about it. And hopefully you guys can get stirred up for what your vision is. What's great is Carl set up the vision for Beachbody. You guys all know what Carl's vision is, right? He wants to end the trend of obesity. Very simple, basic. That's what our mission with Beachbody is. That's what our vision is to help people create healthy, fulfilling lives, right? So those are the two things that we know that Carl set to do, is to end the trend of obesity by helping people live healthy, fulfilling lives. Very basic, very simple, but very powerful too, right? That's not a small vision. That's huge. We know obesity is a huge epidemic, so it's massive. So there's a few things that hit. I wrote down a few notes and everything that I want to talk about. And without no direction, no vision or purpose, like, it's just disastrous. Could you imagine Carl and John going to Tony Horton and being like, "Well, we're thinking about maybe setting up some type of a workout thing, but we're not really sure like what it's going to look like or what we're going to do. But we want to help people, and we want to create this vision, or we want to create like this thing where people work out." No, they had a vision of, all right, let's go and help people create healthy, fulfilling lives. Let's end the trend of obesity. Let's go to this trainer and get something set up. They might have not have had this full vision of where it was going to turn out, but they've continuously, I want to say, enhanced the vision. They've continuously drawn into focus of where things should be at, or what things they wanted to include in the picture, I should say. Maybe they were just really narrowed, focused on this one vision, but then it continued to expand and grow when they started seeing the whole picture. And you think of it like a picture or like a painting, or, let's say you have your camera and you're zoomed in on this little bug on a tree, and that's your vision. But as you continue to expand it, you see a whole big picture. As you continue to have a vision grow and become bigger, you get everything. And it becomes not just a little bug. It becomes a huge, beautiful scene of what you envision. So one thing that I'll tell you right now is that if you don't have a vision, for what you want to do in your business, if you don't have a vision for what you want to do in your life, you don't have a vision for what you want to do with your family, all that stuff, you're wasting time. You end up wasting your time. And that's one thing that I hate too, is that, when we get in funks, we need that success partner, or we need to go to our coach, or we need somebody to smack us out of it. And it's because otherwise you sit there and you have a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes years go by that you're wasting time on this. You're wanting to grow this. And, Alex, and don't take this offensively, please, he quit in the very beginning. Of course, he wasn't the same person when he started back up that he was back then. Whoever would have known if he would have, continued as a coach. He could have quit maybe a month ago or something or whatever if he would have stayed a coach. He might have not had the changes that he has had. But could you imagine if he would have changed his mindset and would have changed the direction of where he was back then, and he would have stayed a coach, where he would be at in this business? Or anyone else who's in this business, Crystal and Julie, I know that we've talked before and stuff like, I haven't given it my all this time. And, I can even say that too. I always talk about how I'm not where I feel like I should be in this organization. I could have given 100%, from day one, but I was content with where I was at. I didn't have a big vision. Like I did, but yet I didn't, if that makes sense. So I might have had this big vision, but it was very fuzzy. It was very blurry. Or I only focused on one little point and I just didn't take it to that, that extent. So instead of wasting your time, put the time in, put the effort in, do the sacrifices. When you're struggling, find someone to talk to. But anyways, okay. I'm going to get off the subject if I keep going down that road. So there's an event that I went to, and this is the first time that I went to a church, and it was down in Tennessee. And I went to their church for Easter service, and then they had a Kazone event is what it was called. It was through Pastor Craig Rochelle. And Kazone is actually, and it's spelled Chazown, and it's so funny because they're like, it's not Chazone. And they were making this huge funny thing about it or whatever. Like, they're like, let's say it. It's like Kazone, like pizza, Kazone, something like that. But it's a Hebrew word that means a dream, a revelation, or a vision. And so my faithful people that are listening to this, hear me out. If you don't, then that's all right. But I want to hit this aspect really quickly because I thought it was very powerful and important. But so if you look in the Bible and you see it, there's a verse that says, where there is no vision, the people will perish. And if you think about that as in your business, if you have no vision for your business, it's going to perish. Now they can say this in two other different ways. When people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild. You don't have guidance. You don't have a vision for your team, for your family, for what you're doing in your business. It's going to be wild. It's going to be all over the place. You're not going to know what to do with it. Without vision, people will run wild. So you need guidance. You need that vision. Because if we don't lead people, then what happens? They become confused. They become unfocused. They become scattered. They're distracted. How many of you guys have been distracted? Like you didn't really have, like, you're like, okay, I'm going to go do my power hour and everything, but you don't really have your list in front of you. Or maybe it wasn't even, I'm going to do my power hour. You're like, do you remember, could have been when you first started as a coach and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to work. And then you go over and you're like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing. So you're scrolling your news feed, you're looking at all these other things, you're going through your groups and stuff. And then you're like, okay, well, what do I do next? You're sitting there thinking about what you're doing because you don't have a vision set in front of you. You don't have the list in front of you. You don't have those goals in front of you. And even for me, if I'm like, oh, I'm going to sit down and do my power hour, if I don't have my list in front of me, I'm distracted. I'm unfocused. And that's the same way with the vision. Okay. How many of you guys have driven a car with wheels out of alignment? It's if you've ever driven a car with wheels out of alignment, what happens? It doesn't matter how straight you're staying on, on the road, you're going to keep veering off. If you've ever driven a car with misaligned wheels, I'm sure you know what happens. Even though you try to keep the car in the middle of the road, it continues to pull off to the side. It's a constant struggle to keep traveling in the intended direction. And over time, it actually can cause major problems, I guess, like I remember the one guy when I just got was it when I had my other car? I don't remember, but they did an alignment check and they're like, well, your one right back one's a little off or whatever, it's not too bad, but you should probably get it realigned here soon, because what will happen is it will continue to drag that tire. And so that tire is going to end up going, bad a lot sooner than all the rest of them and stuff. And I'm like, really? Like just that one tire not, just being a little bit out of a line. So that's the same way without vision, without the alignment, then people are going to continuously do something different. So you have coaches and everything and you don't have a vision. What are they doing? They're out of line. They're not going to keep going the direction and straight. They're going to keep veering off. And that your challengers as well. It's just like you driving that car with wheels that are unaligned. So you have to think about that in your team. You have to think about in your business. Do you have a vision in place? Are they going to keep driving along and pulling off into different directions and moving in different destinations than where you want it to go because you don't have that vision set? Okay, another thing. So think of it this way. How many of you guys have like swam in the ocean or swam in the river, something that's got a current with? Anybody? Yeah? You've been in that? Okay, have you ever been out where, you're sitting there swimming or whatever, or you're chit-chatting and you don't have your feet on the ground, but you're just messing around, and then you look down, maybe you're at a hotel, right? And there's let's say there's a volleyball net in front of you, and you're sitting there swimming out and everything, and then an hour down the road, you're still playing, and you look off and the net's how many feet away from you? It's not right in front of you anymore. You keep drifting, that current keeps pulling you. You guys kind of get what I'm saying there? If you weren't consistently having your feet in the sand or whatever it may be, you weren't consistently moving in the opposite direction of the current, then you're going to drift away. And that's the same way with not having a consistent, compelling vision. If you have a vision, doesn't mean that you can keep it. Doesn't mean that you're going to keep it either. And that's the thing, is that when I started this, I had this vision of doing this and this and this and this and this. And I may have had it, and then it drifted away. And then I'd have it again. After I ran over to it, let's say, and then it drifted again. And then I have it again. And then it drifted again. But it's something that, I don't think I speak clearly enough, the vision of what I feel our team is, or I should say the vision of what I want our team to be and the vision that I want my business to be. And that's something that we're going to be able to do. And this is something that's going to be a little assignment for you guys to do, to post in the team page, what your vision is for the business and what your vision is even for your team, and not necessarily even your team, but this team. For me, I can tell you right now, my vision is to create star diamonds. I want to be an elite team. I want this team to be an elite team. I want to grow to 15 star diamond. I don't care if it's my current rank or if I've got multiple diamonds all in my organizations all over. I do want to achieve 15 star diamond, but my biggest thing is helping the coaches achieve star diamond. Not just diamond, but star diamond, because you just see people all over the place. They just hit superstar diamond, hit superstar. I'm like, okay, if they're hitting superstar diamond, there's no reason that my coaches can't hit their diamond and star diamond and keep growing, because there is an abundance of people. And I think we let that fear and everything get to us. So you have to keep your vision close to you. You have to look at it every single day. You have to speak about it every single day. You have to give out that vision so you don't lose it, because once you have it, you can lose it. Same way with your motivation. You guys know this. When you wake up in the morning, do you want to work out every single morning? Or do you have days where you're like, I really just don't want to do anything. Same with the business. Really don't want to do anything. But once you get reminded of what your vision is, what the full picture is that you're seeing, you can continue to create something beautiful. And the way that I look at it is, like I'm saying, just because you have it doesn't mean that you always keep it. Think about popcorn. Your kids eat popcorn, they leave, a little bit of the bag out the next day. Is it going to taste the same? No, it's going to be stale. A few more days later, it's going to be stale. So when you have a vision, you have it. But when you lose it, you lose it. So there was something that stuck out to me in this book too. And it said, without a vision, you become comfortable with your status quo. And then you are best to protect what is, never dreaming about what could be or should be. And that really stuck out to me too, because that's kind of how my business has been. And, I'm like, okay, I want to grow it. I want to grow it. And I want to expand, and I want to help more people, and I want to do bigger things. And I want this team to, to go on leadership retreats. I want this team to just become massive, because I feel like we are a completely different brand from all the other top coaches out there. And that's the way that you should feel too about you and your coaches and your team and everything. And I'm like, I'm going to show them that we can do it. I want to show people that it doesn't matter who you are. If you have that vision, if you keep that motivation, you have that strength, that you can grow this, because I know that you guys have hearts that are wanting to help people. I know that my team is full of people who have amazing hearts. I've drawn a lot more people who are in their faith, or even those that aren't in their faith. I've seen them grow into their faith, and it's so amazing. I can't even describe it to you. But when he said that in the book, I've always been comfortable. Like, I'll get to a point and it's been comfortable, and I haven't had to grow it. It's not like it's something that I need to do. And so you get comfortable with what is, and then you stop, and then you never achieve what could be or what should be, because you get comfortable in that circle. You don't get uncomfortable with reaching out to people. You don't get uncomfortable with meeting new people, because you're okay with just doing what you're doing. You've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to look at what could be, what should be, the things that you are gifted in life. And that this can be all of yours. I'm listening to these people who are making 7 figures with this business in a year. 7 figures in this business in a year, okay? That's a lot of income for a year. Is it not? Can you even imagine? Or in your head, are you already like, yeah, I'm not going to be making that, right? Because you're not dreaming big enough. You're not having faith in what you can do, and having faith that you're going to keep building this business, that you're going to keep building a team, that, when you're doing this for the right reasons. Don't be ashamed to be like, yeah, I make 7 figures with this in a year, not in 5 years, but in a year. To be able to say that, and it's not to be cocky or anything. It's just to be like, do you understand how many people you are, in order to make $1 million a year with this organization? And it's not necessarily that you're doing all the work. Because again, you have this team, you're building this team, and you're sharing that vision for what you have for them. And they're sharing their vision, what they have with their team. And it continues to expand, but yet we all have this vision of helping people achieve their goals to live healthy, fulfilling lives. And you know what? It's not just through health and fitness. Maybe it's something that you're helping people through their struggles. That's still becoming healthier. Maybe you're helping people through their spiritual aspects. That's still becoming healthier. There's so many different parts when you're saying healthy that can relate to. And you have to find out what your vision is for that healthy. Does it include working out and drinking Shakeology? Yeah, we know that. But there's other aspects to it, and that's where you have to look at the vision. But don't sit there and be like, okay, I'm okay with this or whatever. No, don't stop. We're a team and we're individuals. So we need a team vision and we need individual visions. Without a vision, we compete for resources. We compare ourselves. We don't celebrate people. Or maybe you've even celebrated someone and you're like, yeah, whatever. This person has only been in the business for like 2 months and I've been in it for a year. And congrats, you're doing awesome. And you're sitting there in the back of your head like, screw you. Sorry, but seriously though, don't tell me, because I know I've done it in the business. I'm like, you've been in it 2 years and I've been in it 5 years. And yeah, no, we get those moments in our head where we are like, wanting to backstab this person, but yet, you can't, you're not like, you're happy, but you're not happy. And then you're happy, but you're like, no, I want to strangle you because, but in all reality, the biggest thing, because you guys are laughing because it's all true because it's happened, and I'm not going to say it hasn't happened to me. I've been there before. And I had to learn how to be like, you know what? I'm so proud of this person. And when I decided to, whenever I have any of those moments, to let him go, and it's been quite some time, but there's this, this one girl, and I'm just like, and before I was like, I don't really get it. She's kind of like such a bimbo and everything. Why does everyone, and I apologize for this. This was previously what I thought and stuff, but I'm like, she's such a ditz. Like, why, how is it that this girl can be doing this and did it in less time than I did and doing all this other stuff? And like, what's wrong with me? And we think about that. We're like, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? Okay, well, you know what? Do you have a vision? Are you putting action behind it? It's not about what they're doing. It's about what we're doing. And that's where we have to start to, I just started giving congrats to anyone and everyone and fully, wholeheartedly giving my congrats to them and praising them and sharing their what they've accomplished, because they've done something right. They've done it. They did it. How they did it, I don't know. But they did it. And they did it with a vision. I can tell you that right now. But it also probably came from their coach that gave them that vision. And so I want to continuously push that vision. Not push the vision, I want to say. I want to continuously show you my vision, continuously tell you what my vision is for our team and my vision for me. And that's the same that I want you guys to do as well too. Because, well, I'll talk about that here in a second. But I just imagine, I know I've probably said this before, but imagining that someone's watching you for one whole week. They come to watch you in your business. And this isn't exactly the same for what I've said before, but imagine this person has no idea what your vision is. No idea what your vision is. Nothing about what you do. But they watch you. They observe you for one full week. And they were to tell you, they were to make a conclusion about what your business is about or what your vision is, what would they say? What would they be seeing? Oh, she's just sending out emails and messages daily and, reaching new people. And, she's trying to help people get, what would they truly, honestly say? And what would they see? Do you speak that vision And this vision you should be able to speak this vision to your Facebook. You should be able to make a video explaining to people what you're doing and why you're doing it and where you're going to take it. So, a few questions. Why are you in this business? These are just a few questions to stir your vision. Like, why are you in this organization? And if you're to say, I want to help people, you know what I'm going to say because I've said it before. And I think all of you you've heard that. Well, that's great. You can help people, but ultimately, you don't need this business to help people. You can help people without this business. So why are you in this organization? Why does this exist for you? What can your organization be the best at? So what are you good at? What are the things that you speak out? You know, I know for me, I feel like I do great in motivating people. I feel like that's a strength in my organization, getting people motivated. Keeping them motivated? I don't know. Maybe you guys are still here, but I can pump people up. I can help them see the bright side of things. You know, what do you do good at? And why do you think most of my posts, what else I post about, is usually inspirational, motivational things? And that's because I'm strong at that. Do you see me posting recipes? No. Why? Because I suck at recipes. I don't want to take time to make pretty things, even though I wish I could hire everyone that does that. Like all the people, like Christine, or I should say not Christine, Christina. No, Christine. I was right. I don't pregnancy brain, leave me alone. But she always does her food for her and Jarrell, and I'm like, I want that. Even you guys have posted in the team page too, and you probably were like, oh, this looks nothing extravagant, but here, and I'm like, what is that? Will you make that for me? Like, you have no idea. I'm not good with making stuff. I feel like my pictures never look good, and you guys have posted things, and I'm like, that looks amazing. So you have to figure out what you're best at and put that out there. What you enjoy too. Like some of you guys love to make different foods and stuff and try different things. And that's huge because a lot of people don't. Maybe you've come up with easy recipes, you know, or easier recipes or recipes that only take 15 minutes because we're busy, and there you go. If you could do one thing, what would it be? It's another great question to ask. And these are something that you guys should write down and kind of fulfill your vision, because all this will help with that. If you left Beachbody, for instance, what would you hope would continue? And that's kind of a weird question, but it's something to think about. Like, I mean, I would never want my relationships, trust me, I ain't leaving. I'm here for life. I'm a lifer. But I wouldn't want my relationships to stop. Like, that's something that's so powerful with what we do, the relationships that we build from all over. And I talked about it the other day. And that's something that you guys can share too. But like anytime I get something, and I'm not someone who loves gifts, but it's usually everything's the thought behind it and stuff. But Becca sent a little elephant for baby Christian, but the biggest thing was her thank you card, and I've received notes from Heather. I mean, I've received notes, I think, from most of you and stuff. And it's just like, those notes are so powerful. Like, I couldn't imagine not being in this and not knowing you guys. Like, I'd go crazy. I'd be insane. I'd be talking to my walls. At least I get to talk to adults on here. So, No, but seriously, you guys know how it feels. And it's something that I don't think that we express enough on our Facebook too. Like, we get to work with who we want to work with, and we get to work with people that we build relationships with from all over. And that's it, it's a neat thing, and it's amazing. You can say, I've got a friend I've got a friend in Florida, I've got a friend here, I've got, and it's, again, I'm getting sidetracked, but those are little things that you guys can talk about. So think about that. If you left, what would you want to continue? What breaks your heart? What keeps you awake at night? What wrecks you? What fulfills you? Those are things to think about when you're thinking about your vision. And a great vision should be memorable. So if you're like, I want to help people live healthy, fulfilling lives and build this business to 6 figures so that I can, be at home with my kids and bring my spouse home, and then also do this and that and this and that. Like, what? Like, how many breaths did you have to take? How many periods are in that vision? Like seriously, like, your vision should be memorable. People should be able to, once you tell them it, even if they don't specifically say it by word or for word, they're going to know that's your vision. It should be portable. So you should be able, and that's the same thing, is not only memorable, but somebody should be able to tell that to someone else. So if I share the vision for Believe2Achieve, you guys should be able to share that vision with your coaches. And they should be able to share that with their coaches. And it should be easy, it should be memorable, and it should be portable. And it should be motivational. So I want it to compel people. So I can't just say, I want this team to be an elite team. I want, that's not just the vision for this team. Why do I want to be an elite team? Because there's so many other benefits that go along with it. And I want you guys to be an elite team. And the reason that I want you guys to be an elite team is because we can sign up for our trips early. I mean, there's so many different things, there's benefits that come with all of it. But when you're creating this vision and everything, you want it to stir people. You want it, and again, this is a team vision, but then you also have to do an individual vision as well. When you're speaking out to people on your Facebook or on YouTube and everything, and you're like, I am going to retire my husband and we are going to be able to build a business together from my home or from our home, raising our children while they're watching the impact that we're making to live healthy, fulfilling lives. There's so many different things that you can say about this too. And just for instance, we had, not yesterday, but the day before, we had 3 young people in our hometown pass away from overdose of heroin. Like, we actually have the feds that had to come into our hometown. And I'm telling you this, Dubuque is not a big town. It's not that, it's like a big, small town. But it's not massive or anything. And it's like, I always think, I'm like, and 2 of them I knew. One of them I've talked about working out because they got out of rehab. And I'm like, what if I would have reached that person? Or what if I would have continued to follow up with that person? When was the last time that I followed up with that person? Could that have been something that would have changed? And those are the things that we think about. I have a vision to save people's lives. That's a vision that I have as an individual. I want to save people's lives in numerous ways. You could just leave it as save people's lives, financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I want to save people. That's my vision. Does that move you guys? Would you guys want to be saved? Would you guys want to be saved from debt? Saved from tied down times for work? So you have to capture people's attention with your vision. You have to stir their hearts. It has to be moving. And for me to go and talk to people about how I want to save people, I want to turn unhealthy addictions to healthy addictions. Whether it's spending ridiculously, and that's where I could speak more on my vision, but yet people would be able to speak it out quickly. Spending is an addiction. Let's save that. Cut down debt. Games. I dealt with game addictions. I know Alex has talked about that before too. It did nothing for my life. My brother is addicted to games. So just think about these things in your life. Seriously, you guys have so many different ways of where you could take it. So many things that you guys have dealt with that you can help other people with. So what is your vision? Are you sick? Are you sick of your husband that has a job that's gone? Or a spouse? I know I've got 2 women here that would love their spouses home. And it sucks because you're heartbroken when they're gone. What if they could be at home with you every single night? What if they could build the business with you? How amazing would that feel to wake up and not to be like, I'll see you in 2 months, or I'll see you in a week. To be wake up and be like, all right, honey, I'm making breakfast so you can stay in bed, and then you're going to have the kids for an hour because I've got my power hour, or I've got a call. You're communicating with them what your vision is. That's powerful. That's moving. And that's something that you guys can have. But you have to hold that vision, and you can't let go of it. When it starts to get out of focus, you've got to focus it back. So what are the benefits of having a vision? People tend to sacrifice for it. That's huge. Not only will you guys start to sacrifice for your own vision, but when you share that out to people, they're going to sacrifice for your vision as well. People tend to tolerate inconvenience for the greater cause. So maybe you don't really want to reach out to people, but you do because it's for a greater cause. You're reaching out for that bigger purpose. You're not just reaching people because you got to hit Success Club. You're not just reaching out to people because you want to make a commission or you want to make money. You're reaching out to people because you're changing their lives. That's why you're doing it. So as inconvenient as it might be and as uncomfortable as it might be, you tend to tolerate it because you know that it could possibly change their life in planting that seed. Your business will take a life of its own. And opportunities for distractions usually decrease. For me, maybe in the beginning, or even I should say when I don't have my vision in front of me, I can tend to put on my TV while I'm folding my clothes. When the days when I do have my vision in place, and I'm like, no, this is why I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing this for. I listen to personal development while I'm washing dishes, while I'm cooking, while I'm in the shower, while I'm folding clothes, because I have that vision there. But when I don't, I'm doing other things. Not saying that we don't need those moments at times because we can tend to get a little crazy, but honestly, personal development is going to pump you up no matter what. It's usually always good. I'm listening to Craig Rochelle. I'm listening to a book. I could deal without TV. I'm good. So you have to communicate and see your vision over and over and over and over and over and over. And it's going to be a continuous thing. It's not something that you can get rid of or you won't have it and it's gone. Something that you can't forget. So that's your big, huge assignment, is to have your, to figure out what your vision is. I challenge you guys to make a video about your vision. Might not be perfect. You will have to tweak it around a little bit. I didn't even really know what my vision was completely until I just spoke tonight, and it kind of just came out. Like, I want to save people. And it's not just from diabetes or obesity. I have a huge passion to reach people's unhealthy addictions and turn them into healthy addictions. That's a goal of mine. Because I've dealt with gambling, I've dealt with smoking, I've dealt with getting high, I've dealt with alcohol, I've dealt with spending money I shouldn't be spending. What else is there? I've dealt with gaming. There's many of unhealthy addictions that I've had to turn into healthy. I've dealt with not trusting people, like even that stuff, like having to really trust someone or build a trust again, like all unhealthy things that I want to turn healthy. Just a little bit different from Carl's vision that turns it into my own. So you guys think you guys kind of got some vision started up? Yeah? So it's powerful to have a vision, isn't it? You're not going to take your business anywhere if you don't have that vision. And there's a lot of things I could say, well, you're not going to take it forward if you don't do this or this or this and stuff. But the vision is the whole aspect behind it. And so it's something that I want to do better as a leader, to communicate the vision in our team, to push you guys to remind yourself of your visions, to remind yourself of your goals, and to remind yourself why you're doing this. So you guys can make videos when you feel the need to. You can post them in the team page. I would recommend posting them on your personal pages too, speaking about where you want to go with this business, because what's that doing? That's sharing your vision with other people, because you have to share it. You've got to move it forward. And then when someone sees your vision that feels the same way about what you do, they want to be a part of it. They want their spouse to be home. They want to turn their life from just, working a 9-to-5 job, or, playing video games, or sitting like me. I sat playing Facebook games, watching people's lives look so amazing. And mine was what? I wasn't doing anything. I'm sure there's many people that feel that way. They don't feel like their life matters. Speak it out to people. Let them see that and grab a hold of it. So, before we close it out, is there any questions or comments or statements? Don't be shy. Or we'll all be shy. Fine. If that was so powerful enough to leave you guys speechless, I'm okay with that. We're good. So you guys have your, I don't want to call them homework assignments. You guys have your, we'll call this your 7-figure business plan, or your vision, your growth. You guys have what you need to do to move that forward. So I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to hear them. And other than that, I will close the call, and you guys can have an amazing night.